This is the Fairywill FW-507. I've been testing it for a few weeks and I'm here to let you know what I think about it. So I'm going to jump straight in with my verdict of the Fairywill FW-507 because ultimately that's what you want to know, right? Well, this does feel a little bit cheap and doesn't have the same quality, in my personal opinion, in comparison to some of the more premium brands. However, I don't want to let that overrule the overall feelings that I have for this electric toothbrush. And in fact, I think it is a fantastic option and it offers a lot of features for the money. And you'll be hard pushed to find a better toothbrush for the price. So let me take a look at some of the key pros and cons for you. Starting with the pros. First thing has got to be lightweight. It's nice and light in hand and it's noticeably lighter than many of the competing products. It's got multiple cleaning modes built in, 5 in total. You don't necessarily need all 5, but they exist should you wish to have additional modes. There's a built-in timer and pacer, which is really good for encouraging you to brush for the recommended 2 minutes. There's a built-in rechargeable battery with an exceptionally long battery life. You get a good box contents and all of that comes in at a very affordable price. A couple of cons though. The quality, well, it does feel a little bit cheaper. It's not a massive negative, but it certainly doesn't have the premium feel of the likes of Sonicare. You don't get a pressure sensor built in, so no alert if you brush your teeth too hard. The charging port on the bottom of the toothbrush could be a little bit of a negative. I do fear that that could potentially become damaged by water over time. And Fairywill are a lesser known brand, so you don't have the same level of reputation and experience as some of those premium brands. So let's dig into some of the details a little bit more. So the first thing to note is that there are actually a few different variants of the 507. I've got the black coloured brush handle here, but they do also offer it in white. But in addition to the different coloured handles, there are different packages, and those different packages have different number of items in the box. Now I'm referring to this as the 507 because that is the handle, but there is a bundle known as the FW-507 plus 420 plus 8. And that is the one that I'm reviewing here and is the one that I particularly recommend because of the value that it actually offers. The other bundles are by no means bad, but if you go for this one, you're going to get the ultimate in terms of value for money, or at least I certainly did at the time of recording, and I expect that to continue. So the design and usability. It's lovely, slim, lightweight. No, it's not heavy at all. It's definitely noticeable that it's lighter than competition. It's got a matte finish paintwork on here, not white glossy plastic, although you can get it in white. There is a lack of gripping points on here, which could be a bit of a negative, but the matte paintwork of the plastic is actually fairly grippy. You just got no raised ridges on here, which is a little bit of a shame. You've got 5 different cleaning modes. I'll be quite upfront, you don't need 5 different cleaning modes, but you've got different ones there if you want to use them. The ones that are probably most interest to most people over and above the clean are the sensitive and massage. They're a little less intense and have a slightly different cleaning action. Now this is a sonic toothbrush, and to best explain that, it's like using a Philips Sonicare toothbrush. The bristles move from side to side. The bristles on this toothbrush will move up to 40,000 strokes per minute. Most Sonicare move around about 31,000 strokes per minute. It's not all about power though, I must stress that. More important is your brushing technique, how long you brush for and how regularly you actually brush. Now, because it's similar to Sonicare, the cleaning sensation is very similar as well. I'd be hard pushed to tell in a blind test which was which, but I don't think this is quite as good as Philips Sonicare in the clean, but it's still more than good enough. If I power the brush on, you'll be able to hear the vibration of the motor. So hopefully you can hear that. It's like a loud vibration, sort of humming sound. It's not particularly loud in actual sort of everyday use. You could probably quite easily use this in a bathroom and not wake up anybody who's sleeping nearby. The different modes on here, to select the different modes, you actually have to press the power button to turn it on and then press the button multiple times to cycle through. The modes light up with a blue LED once they've been selected. You don't have to cycle through every time. The brush will remember the last mode that you actually used, which is really handy. There is a 2-minute timer and pacer built into this toothbrush, which means it encourages you to brush for the dentist recommended 2 minutes. There is the pacer, which will change the sound of the brush and pause the brush head motion very slightly at 30-second intervals, and this is to encourage you to move from one quadrant to another to get an even clean of the teeth, because it's no good brushing your teeth for 2 minutes and focusing just on the front teeth. You need to try and brush your teeth evenly to get a good standard of oral health, and then the brush will automatically power off at the end of those 2 minutes. The brush head is removable, so you actually twist it about 45 degrees to unlock it and slide it off. You slide it back on at a slight angle, twist it 45 degrees and lock it back in place there. Now with this bundle that I mentioned, you actually get 8 brush heads in total, 7 of which are this sort of style, 1 of which is an interdental brushed head designed to get into the gaps between your teeth. Now you do get different bristle firmnesses. I got a variety included in the box with mine. They're fairly soft. You get soft and hard ones, and you can buy either separately if you wish. They should last you about 3 months on average, and in the box there you've got enough to cover you for nearly 2 years before you need to actually buy any replacements, and when you do, they're pretty good value also. The brush handle is water resistant. I say water resistant, it's not waterproof. You don't want to go submerging this in water, but it should survive a splash under the tap or a quick rinse with no problems whatsoever. There is no pressure sensor built in, so if you brush your teeth too hard, you get no audible alerts or warnings. Just be aware that you only need the bristles of the toothbrush to skim the teeth and gums. You don't need to scrub the teeth. You do also get a travel case provided, see it here. Plastic kind of affair, it does the job. It's got magnets that hold the lid closed. It holds the toothbrush handle and 1 brush head. Many travel cases will hold 2 brush heads. This doesn't, just 1 brush head, but it's perfectly functional and stops the brush from getting damaged in transit. So built into the 507 is a rechargeable lithium-ion battery. They advertise a battery life of 30 days. I actually managed about 2 months from this electric toothbrush, 65 days in total in my hands-on testing. When it needs recharging, you use the provided USB to 3.5mm power cable. That connects into the bottom of the toothbrush here. It's nice that it charges via USB. That's nice and convenient. The cable is proprietary, so you need to be careful you don't lose it. And there is a little bit of a danger, I think, with this. Could get damaged by water on the base of the toothbrush. I've not seen any instances of it actually happening or any reports or anything like that of damage being caused by water, but it's just something to bear in mind. And you might also want to remove the brush head when you're charging it to stop it getting damaged or rolling about on a surface or what have you. It's quick to charge. You actually get feedback on the battery through the little charge icon down here, so it'll light up when on charge. The light will go out when it's fully charged, and it'll also flash when the battery is low of power. So the battery life is really good there, and it's surprising that a brush so light has a battery life that is so good. So the Fairywill FW-507 is an excellent value electric toothbrush, as I've already suggested. Now, whilst prices are always subject to change, at the time of recording, you're looking at around about $45 to actually purchase this toothbrush. And that includes the 7 additional brush heads and travel case that you get included in the box as well. And when you compare that to the competition from the likes of Oral-B or Philips Sonicare, it definitely represents excellent value for money. Now here at Electric Teeth, we like to price things over a 3-year period to give a rough benchmark of what this is actually going to cost you. Now over 3 years, it's going to cost you around about 60 Canadian dollars, which is about 6 cents per day, and that's even factoring in the cost of replacement brush heads once you've used up those that come provided in the box. A typical cost for 4 replacement brush heads is $12, so that's 3 Canadian dollars each, which is very good value for money yet again. Now, it's certainly not all about price. There are certainly some benefits you get with buying the premium brands like Oral-B or Sonicare, but at 6 cents per day, this is around about 3 times cheaper than the likes of the Philips Sonicare Protective Clean 4100 that typically works at about 18 cents per day. So you can really see why the Fairywill is an attractive option. You need to weigh up the pros and cons that I presented in this review to decide whether it is the right electric toothbrush for you, but it'd be hard pushed to get a better value electric toothbrush than this when you consider the features that are actually offered. So it's a solid electric toothbrush that I seriously consider you recommend. If you're on a budget or you're not particularly bothered by which brand of electric toothbrush you go for, the FW-507 is definitely a strong contender. If you found this video useful, be sure to give it a thumbs up. For more videos like this, click subscribe. But until next time, thanks for watching.